What is going on, guys? UFC 257 back on pay-per-view. The much anticipated return of Conor McGregor, just a few days away. Excited for this card. Make sure you order those pay-per-views, or however you watch it. That's totally up to you. A great main event we have, and co-main. Very top-heavy. This card. Excited for the whole card. There's some good fights overall. Main event or some good fights, and we have a couple in the prelims that I'm looking forward to as well. Excited to see Chandler finally get in there versus Hooker. Maybe not the best matchup for him personally, but just excited to see what he carries over from Bellator. He was supposed to fight. You know, I thought he would fight a little earlier maybe, but hey, he's fighting this weekend. Looking to get back on track with my personal plays this weekend. We not having the best start overall to 2021. Some few upsets ruined it in the first week, and this week we went 1-2, 1-2 on Fight Island 8. Missed out on Magny. I did have Magny to win that fight. You know, I thought he would be able to do a better job on the ground, personally. I didn't think... I know Chiesa was very good on the ground, but Magny probably, one of the better guys in the UFC cardio-wise. So I thought that would check out here, and maybe Chiesa would wear. But he was able to wrestle with him for 5 rounds, so that was very impressive. We knew Magny had the reach and stand-up advantage, but he wasn't able to display it. He had a couple good exchanges in the grappling department on the cage, but it just wasn't enough. Unfortunately, Chiesa dominated on the ground, and he was able to win the fight. We did have Matt Schnell, which was a good plus dog. I had seen a lot of people on Nam, but no, I like Schnell coming in a lot faster with his hands, more volume, right? If Nam doesn't knock you out, he's not going to win the fight, in my opinion. And he wasn't able to knock out Schnell. He was quicker in there, so that was a good plus 110 cash there. And we did go 1-2 on the parlay. We did have Murphy. He won that fight fairly easily by decision. And we lost out on Laziz. Hometown guy, loses at home, dominated at home. I didn't expect Alves to come out with those kicks. Very strong kicks, a lot of power. I don't think Laziz even expected that. So that was definitely an upset there. And, I expected some regression, especially since the really above average and above expectations 2020. With hitting 70% of my best bets and over 40 units. So I did expect some regression. It finally came, but we're going to look to get back on track with this card. Updated record, guys. Best bets stay the same. No best bets last card. Units have changed, though. We are just below 40 units now, 39.8 units. Best bets 44 and 20. Best bets at 69%. Guys, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, check out systemsportscapping.com for all updated records, subscription options, and all information on subscription services. I cap multiple sports, not just UFC. Also cap, obviously, NFL. NFL is coming down to an end here. NBA, NHL, and PGA. A little bit soccer mixed in as well. And MLB when it comes back in April. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. I'll be looking at the full main card. Full main card. I'll go over some plays and breakdowns on all 5 fights. Main event, guys. 5-rounder. Conor McGregor minus 334 versus Dustin Poirier plus 240. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. Conor McGregor is back. Nice to see him on a main event card. And it is a rematch versus Dustin Poirier. Conor does have the first round KO versus Dustin in 2014. That was 7 years ago. So times have changed. Both guys more mature. If you watch the press conference today, I'm doing this just after the press conference. If you just see them in the build-up, a lot more mature, probably because the kid, they're fathers now. Very mature. They donated to their charities. No bad blood. No talking at the press conference at all. So that was nice to see. I think both have a lot more respect for each other, right? This time around, Poirier, personally, I think he's improved since 2014. You can't really look too much on that. It's just always tough. He's just tough. He's tough, this guy, right? He can take punishment. He's able to dish it out as well. He goes deep in fights, right? So that's where he's going to want to take this if he can get there. He's going to want to get this deeper into the fight and try to wear on Conor. You know, it showed a lot in his last fight how much punishment he can take versus Hooker. That was a war. You know, Hooker's a very good fighter, guys. Top 5 in this division, in my opinion. Both guys have losses against Khabib, right? Poirier and McGregor, similar style with the choke. And Khabib, you know, if he's not impressed after this fight, he may not be coming back at all for the rematch. So I'm sure that's at the back of both of these guys' minds. A lot of hype around Conor coming into this fight. He looks great. Coaches are talking very highly on him, and he seems very mature and confident going into this fight. Body looks great. Looks like he has some good size on him. He said he'll finish Dustin in 60 seconds. Tough to see that personally. However, it's hard to say no with Conor. He'll go for that knockout, right? So it's hard to see there. Both guys are coming off wins. Conor beating Cerrone and Poirier beating Hooker. So a little different level there, right? Hooker's obviously a little higher level fighter at this point of his career. This is a tough fight to bet on personally, guys, just because the price, right? I'm not going to be betting a straight up bet on -334 unless I absolutely love it. Yeah, I do like Conor McGregor to win this fight. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that. A lot of people do. I say 97% of the market, which scares me sometimes. But sometimes you got to agree with the market. And this is a fight where I agree with the market. Like I said, it's hard to -334. So you know, you can shop around, but you're not going to get too much better than that. I probably get a -300, but it's still high, right? Definitely a parlay piece for you parlay players out there. 2-fight parlay piece I would advise of. But, you know, if you look at an outcome, KO, you can probably get a -180 to -200. No surprise if this doesn't go 5 rounds. Like, if this goes 5 rounds, I'll be pretty shocked, to be honest. And if it does go 5 rounds, you could be raising Poirier's hand at the end of this fight at that +240, which is juicy, right? I just have a hard time seeing a path to victory for Dustin. Conor struggles against good grapplers and wrestlers. I just don't see that being the case here. This should be on the feet, a striking battle, which benefits Conor. So hard to see anything but Conor winning this fight for me, guys. I don't see it going 5 rounds personally. I think it should get out of the first round. It should, but it's not a bet I'm gonna place just because what happened last time, and Conor's gonna be looking for that. So I do think it goes a bit longer in this one, maybe second, third round. I haven't bet anything as of yet, but I do like Conor to win the fight and for it not to go the distance. Co-main event, guys. Co-main event. Excited for this one just because there's kind of some unknowns. Chandler in the UFC. This is a tough fight to call. We got the wrestler versus striker type matchup, but you know, Chandler can strike. He has that tough overhand right he'll be looking for. Chandler making his debut finally in the octagon, coming from Bellator, and he didn't get the matchup he wanted, right? He wanted a top guy in this division. You know, Hooker's top 5, like I mentioned, but he's not that guy that he was looking for. He was looking for a title shot right away. I think that's kind of crazy. Let him fight. I think this is a perfect fight to introduce him to the UFC. Let's see how he does against, you know, a 5th, 6th ranked type of guy in Hooker. This will be a 3-round fight. 3-round fight. I don't know who that really benefits, to be honest. Maybe Chandler. I know Chandler has some 5-round bouts. Hooker just has the 1, if I can recall correctly. So I think it does benefit Chandler slightly here. Chandler is going to want to have to go to, he's going to want to go to his wrestling, right? I do think he is obviously the better wrestler, but Hooker had a lot of success with his takedown defense. If you look at the numbers and if you look in his previous fight. So I don't think it's going to be as easy to just bring Hooker down as people might think. So Hooker's going to want to keep this on the feet, stand, bang, trade, and pick him apart, use that reach, which I think he could. So I don't really have a side play on this. I want to wait and see Chandler, right? I want to wait and see Chandler, how he looks against, Hooker could be the best fighter he's ever fought at this time, right? So I want to see how it looks. I'll lean Chandler, but I won't be betting this as of right now. I don't think this goes, I don't think this is an early finish either. I could probably see this going the distance. But yeah, I'm just excited to see how Chandler does against some UFC competition. This should definitely be a good fight. Jessica I versus Calderwood, guys. This is about pick-up fight, -110 all around. Very tough to call, but I do think Calderwood could edge this out by a decision due to volume. The funny thing is I didn't know these two really had beef. I was listening to a Calderwood interview. She does not like Jessica I, which I didn't know. So that, adds a little excitement to this one. Both ladies coming off losses and will want to stay in the conversation in this division, right? So that's why I think it should be very competitive and a very close decision fight. This is going to go to the judges, I'm pretty sure about. So if you play those fights not to go to the decision, I think that's a good look. Probably going to pay for it though heavily. So Calderwood, another thing about her, she was close to that title shot. I feel bad for her. She's so cute. I love her accent. I love when she does interviews. Title shot, very close to taking it, and she lost to Maya. Remember, she had that title shot and she couldn't, Manny Nunez couldn't fight, pulled out, and then sorry, not Nunez, Valentina Shevchenko couldn't fight, and then pulled out, lost to Maya very easily in the first round, which was surprising. Maya showed that she is tough in the Valentina fight. So, I would lean Calderwood here by decision. This is a fight I'm definitely not going to bet, but look for it to go all 3 rounds and Calderwood to maybe slightly win due to volume, right, or striker volume. Fervolo versus Azaitar, -160 for Azaitar. Ottman Azaitar is coming off a huge KO versus Kamaru Worthy, who was on a great streak. He was running well, and he ruined his hype in that one. Ottman has some big power, guys. He can knock your head off. Azaitar 13-0, Fervola 8-1. Very tough guy, though. He has a lot of heart. His chin isn't the best from what I've seen. He's been knocked down a few times in fights. But he has the heart. He bounces back and he fights through it. Azaitar will be looking for that early KO, in my opinion. And if Fervolo can prolong this fight and get deep, if he can get this into the 3rd round, I think this favors Fervola. I think Fervola may have the grappling and wrestling advantage, so he may want to get it there. But yeah, we just haven't seen much of it from Azaitar on the ground. I don't think it's a huge advantage, right? Fervola, he's coming off a split decision win over Pena, who was a tough fight, and he beat Jalen Turner. So it's not anyone I'm hugely excited about. Pena is a solid guy. It went back and forth, that fight, but Pena's not really known for striking and power. Azaitar is, right? So that's why I lean Azaitar here. And, this fight could go the distance, right? I could go to the distance, but if you want to get a little better value, look at Azaitar in the knockout. You can get a better price there. Last fight here, it is Rebus -290 versus Rodriguez +250. I really like this fight, guys. I think this is for one of these ladies to make a big step up in their career, and it should be a fun one. I think the price is off. I think -290 is too high, in which a fight I think could go all 3 rounds and could be close on the judges' scorecard. A lot of hype around Rebus, and she will want to look to get to the ground, in my opinion. Rodriguez is a very good striker, guys. I think one of the best strikers in the division. However, her grappling and wrestling is not good. How much has she been working on it is the question, right? We will see. I just think she's undervalued here a little bit at plus 250, and it's intriguing. It's intriguing value. But Rebus with her hype, right? She has a lot of hype. She has the ability to take this to the ground and beat Rodriguez there. So I really do think that's what Rebus is going to want to do, not stand and bang with her. I think Rebus is going to want to bring this to the ground. And I think she can get the decision because of that. So you can get Rebus around minus 105 on the decision. However, Rodriguez is a live dog here at plus 250, guys. So I wouldn't throw that totally off the table. I think Rodriguez could win this fight. All right, guys, we are back on pay-per-view. It's going to be an exciting card. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm excited for this card. Hopefully, we get good performance from everyone. And, hey, McGregor's back, so it's always going to be a good card. All right, guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.